1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 types of green. 9, 10. They were completely just, they didn't even need to be in the story. This was what real magic looked like. Indecent, decadent, perverse. Welcome to Yale.
Blue moon, kinda mysterious, shaded with someone I'm not really into. Do you need to fix it? Talking bullshit. It's hard to see you when your eyes look dull. Who's gonna save you? Who's gonna make you not blue? Not blue. Blue
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
that
Types of green.
So
9,
witty and jaded, but
10.
let's not talk about you. Your coyote song on a rerun. Are you hound dog tired singing all night long? Who's gonna save you? Who's gonna make you not blue? Not blue. Not
I'm gonna go out for lunch with my mom, but first I want to go to a cafe. Classic. Bring my iPad and my book there, and get a little coffee because I am so sleep deprived, and I really am loving Namesake and I don't want to put it down, so I'm gonna bring it there. And I just wanted to bring my iPad because I find working in a public place makes me so much more productive. Really changes how you do work, especially for me, like being at home all the time and during my work. I find that I'm not as productive in this space as I'd like to be. Whereas out in public, I don't have distractions. I don't have my computer. I don't have anything. If I just have my iPad with me, I can just design things and get to work. In public, I'm like way more awake. And then I'm gonna finish up some polymer clay later. I'm gonna give a couple to my friends for their birthdays. That's my plan. I brought my book along with me. have with me all my February books that I read. One of them I started January when it came out, January 30th, and then I read it through the first week of February. Just pulled them up one by one. First book I read was House of Flame and Shadow. Me and everybody and their mother read this book at the beginning of February. I gave this one a 3.5. Not my favorite. Really not my favorite. I think it's actually my least favorite Sarah J. Maas book out of any of them. Even the first Court of Thorns and Roses I liked more than I liked this one. It's pretty disappointing, but I think too our expectations were quite high with this one, especially to wrap up the whole series. Kingdom of Ash really just elevated everything. I mean, Court of Rings and Ruin, also very good. This didn't do it for me. There were characters that I just didn't care about. Well, majority of the time I didn't care about any of the characters, but in particular Ethan and Tharian. They were completely just, they didn't even need to be in the story. Literally could have been deleted, spent more time with the main characters, and I would have been happy. Again, I think mostly because it was disappointing. I had high expectations, especially like this thick of a book. And I thought, you know, like we're going to spend so much time with the characters, I'm going to care a lot about them. And then the crossover with ACOTAR characters with Nesta and Azriel, and I didn't know where that was going. I was actually really disappointed in that as well. I don't think it was well done. I think it left a lot to be desired. So again, not the best. Other one I read was Vengeance of the Pirate Queen. I loved the first two, which was Daughter of the Pirate King and Daughter of the Siren Queen. I read those a long time ago when they first came out, and then this one I kept seeing it and being like, oh, I'll pick that one up, I'll pick that one up. Finally did. It feels very juvenile, the writing. Very two-dimensional characters, and even then it wasn't that good. Like I rolled my eyes quite a lot at maybe just the writing style in this one. I don't know. I didn't mind her, but like the story itself was kind of just bland. I don't know. I don't even know what you would describe this as. It's definitely not an adult book. It felt like young teenager maybe who might enjoy it. Well, whatever. Other two I read was Ninth House and Hellbent. I finally read Ninth House. My neighbor is obsessed with these, and it says one of her favorite characters, Alex Stern. So I saw on her Goodreads that she had rated this series very highly, and I was again putting it off, I think because of the ghost aspect. I don't like spooky things, so I never really thought it would suit me. However, really like these. Just assume that I would like it because it's Leigh Bardugo and I love her stuff. I love Crooked Kingdom and Six of Crows. Like those two books are the best. Those two books still beat this one. However, Alex Stern, I do like that character. And I really enjoyed this kind of this world here. This was the first time I actually like tagged on some of the books, like put a sticky note on some of the quotes, the ones that made me laugh or I really liked or made me feel something, which I think there's only 4 or 5, but it was my first time actually like tabbing in a book. So I'm excited to read some of those. This one, I love this one. Why is it always blood? Why can't it ever be jam or blue crayon? When they're trying to do like a sacrifice or a passage, they need their blood. I thought that was funny. One other one, Half a Soul, also one my neighbor really likes. I actually really enjoyed this. I devoured it really quickly. The quote on the actual top of the book here makes sense. Like it describes this book perfectly, which is whimsical but never frivolous, sweet but not sugary. Which I think is perfect for this book. That's what it was. There was still darker parts. There was still parts that made you feel things. And I really enjoyed this. I don't think it's a series. I think there's other books in this kind of world, but I actually really liked it. The only thing I didn't like about this was the ending. I thought the ending was kind of strange. It was a strange choice, but I'm torn. I'm so on the fence about this one. Very, very highly rated. I have seen it for so much on Book Talk and had so many good reviews on it. However, probably for the first half of the book, I was bored out of my mind. I just really was not connecting to the characters of what was happening. I struggled through it. I was honestly ready to DNF this one, which is really, really rare for me to want to do. Speaking of, I'll talk about my one audiobook this month that I did DNF. By the second half of the book, I actually started enjoying it, was more into the story, and I liked the ending. I liked where the character went. It was a bit different than any other book I've read, I think. However, this very first half of this book, I would just delete it. I just deleted it. Did nothing for the story. It just took away from it, I think. I think there were multiple moments where like I was thinking this should have been the start of the story, not all the stuff beforehand. It was too much just nonsense. Anyway, I did buy the second one to read for March. So because I said I liked, I would say, the last half, so I was kind of curious to see where the character went to, so I bought the second one. My audiobook that I DNF'd, the second book in the Blood and Ash series. I don't even know how many hours I made it through. 7 hours or something of the audiobook, and the whole time I was just rolling my eyes and being like, are you serious right now? These characters are so annoying. Everything is so repetitive. There was no plot going anywhere. Castile in it was just, he was just ridiculous. He was just like pushing himself on Poppy all the time, and Poppy was just frustrated the whole time and angry, and it was so unpleasant to listen to. And I was like, why am I suffering through this? What's the point of it besides buying it, right? That's why I hate DNFing a book, only because if I bought it and I spent all this money, I just want to finish it. And then maybe, like One Dark Window, maybe in the last half it gets good, right? Push myself through. People do that for ACOTAR. They don't like the first one, yet they push themselves through it for the second book. Well, that one, I just couldn't do it. So I quit. There's only been probably 3 or 4 books I DNF'd, and it's added to the list. Sorry, you can't do it. Oh, it feels good though, being able to finally have this book and just putting it on that empty spot on my shelf, because everything fits perfectly now. Yes. Perfect.